Okay, so here we go with isolines part 2. This is in the Bristol booklet that you're working on. This is task 3. And what you've got here is a map of different locations in Bristol where they've taken readings of the amount of nitrogen oxide that's in the atmosphere. Okay, so each of these dots here represents a place where they've taken those recordings, and the numbers next to them represent the amount of nitrogen oxide in the air. And you're being asked down here in number 3 to add isolines to this map. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, now I don't have a printer, but what I've done here is I've drawn a copy of that map. Okay, so the first thing to do is to have a look at the general pattern. Okay, where are the highest and the lowest values on the map? So the highest is here in the centre. This cross represents the city centre in Bristol. So the highest reading for nitrogen oxide was here, 107. And generally speaking, the pattern is that as you go out from the centre of the city, the values decrease. So like here along this line, they decrease. The lowest is down here, 42, and then you've got a couple in the 50s over here. So the first job on this map would be to decide on your scale. Okay, because there's not a huge range of data here. Normally isolines you might go for intervals of 10, but there's not a massive range of numbers in this data set. So I'd say probably you want to go for intervals of 20. And looking at it, I'd start with 60. Okay, because there's a couple of points here and here which are actually 60, and then you've got these which are in the 60s round here. So it gives us a kind of a good guide to work on. Now this is a bit tricky because I'm trying to film with one hand and draw with the other and think with my brain, so bear with me. Okay, but essentially what I would do is I'd start off by joining up this 60 with this 60. But I can't do it with a straight line, like a child's dot to dot, because that would mess up this bit here in the middle. So I need to use the other data points to kind of guide where my line's going to go. So from this 60, I'd come around and I'd draw a line outside of the 70, like this. And then if I've got 80 here and 42 here, imagine that is a straight line between those numbers. And you've got a kind of a little ruler along there. Think about where 60 is going to fall. Probably fall about here. Ever so slightly closer to the 42 than the 80. Because you've got to leave 20 on that side and 18 on that side. So my line's going to come through this point here and then stretch off over to that 60 up there. Okay. Then my next logical point is going to be for it to join from here up to the 61. But I can't do it like that as a straight line because then it's way too close to this 82. If we imagine on our map roughly that far now, this distance from here to here is 20. So I need to come out about that distance, so to about here probably, away from that 82, otherwise I'm messing up my scale. So I'm going to come out from here to here, and then I've got this nice 61 there, so I'm going to go close but not straight through the dot for 61. Okay, I'm now heading round to this 68, kind of going round the outside of the 68 there somewhere. Probably a bit too close there. And then again coming quite close to the 63 on that side. So by using the 60s, I've started off with quite a good outside circle to kind of guide me for the rest of it. Now the next circle I'm going to go for is 80. So everywhere along, just to go back, everywhere along this line here has got a value of 60. Label it up a few times. Then I'm going to go for the 80s. I've got an 80 here and an 80 here and an 84 over there. But again, I can't join this 80 directly with that 80 because of this 82. It's this pesky 82 again over here. because actually I need to come round the outside of that 82, like that. Okay, kind of skirting around the outside of it. And then again over here around the outside of that 84. And then here, my kind of anchor points are this 60 and 91, coming round about there. So everywhere on that line has got a value of 80. And then finally I'm going to do my line for 100. Now I've got no points at all that are exactly 100. So I need to work out where my 100 line's going to go. I've got 91 and 107 here. So probably somewhere like that. And then up here I've got 101. So I'm going to come round, oh, probably a bit far away from the 101 there. Might rub that out. Okay. It's going to look something a little bit like that. 100. Now I can't add a line onto the outside. I can't do a 40 because I just haven't got enough points to help me do it. I've got a 42 down here and these in the 50s, but there's nothing in this whole section. It's almost impossible for me to do a line for 40. Okay, so that's drawing of the isolines. Now look at the pattern, think about what it tells you. This is the city centre here. So the closer you are to the city centre, the higher the reading for nitrogen oxide. And the further you get away from the city centre, the lower the value for nitrogen oxide. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I hope that helps you to answer these questions on your Bristol booklet. Okay, any other problems, get in touch with me by email, and I look forward to making you some more lovely videos in the future. Take care everyone, bye.